We are excited to share that our visual companion guide for American Mahjong is available on Amazon. A little sneak peek, here's our table of contents. We have Getting Started, Charleston, Key Concepts, Jokers, Discards, Commitment, Wind of Opportunity, Proper Order, Joker Exchanges. This is the first page of the table of contents. As you see, we start with the very beginning. Our book is intended as a visual companion guide. You could use it to study, to learn the rules. You could use it at the games table. It really is a helpful way to reinforce important concepts. It is not intended to replace learning from an in-person lesson or other books that start with the very beginning and plot out all the details of the game. However, we do believe it is a very valuable resource for players of every level. Chapter 6, we go into strategy. We discuss dead hands, declaring Mahjong in payment, house and tournament rules, Mahjong with other than 4 players, and then we have a lot of other information. We have Appendix A, which is claiming a discard challenge, B, which is similar situations with different outcomes, to discuss online play. We give examples in our Can You Make a Joker Exchange challenge, because that's something that confuses even the most experienced players. We have for this year, the 2023 NMJL card frequently asked questions. Players have asked, they saw that it said 2023 edition. We will have on our website, modernmahjong.com, we will have a section dedicated to updates when we come up with the 2024 edition. If you want, you could repurchase the book, or we will show you the 2024 insert for just that for players who already bought the 23 edition. Then moving along, we welcome you. This is a streamlined start that I wish I had right next to me while I was playing when I was learning. It just goes over very briefly bullet points of the overall game. And I think by reading this in a short, quick, fun form, it really gives an overall guide to what's expected when you sit down to learn how to play. We also have important play and tile reminders, play to the right, walls to the left. We go into etiquette rules and best practices. So the entire book, we are not making up rules. These are all based on National Mahjong League rules, either specifically spelled out in their official instruction book, Mahjong Made Easy, or in bulletins, post Mahjong Made Easy, and in letters and calls to the league. Many of you may notice that some of the rules in Mahjong Made Easy either have a must, but then no penalty, or say should or recommend. So we go throughout the book and somewhat explain, even though it says should or even though it's recommend, how following these things are best practices. Such as, for example, it says you should not touch another player's tiles. Well, if it said you must not and the penalty was that you had a dead hand, imagine how many games players would have dead hands if all of those were firm, set in stone rules. But it is best practices to follow those, because if you put a tile into someone else's rack and you take the wrong tile back, or if you put the wrong tile and take the joker or something like that, the player's hand might be dead. So Mahjong's a looking and listening game, and we discuss all of this and discuss best practices throughout the book. We go into best practices for dealing, rules, keep them in stack, keep the tiles where they are. We have a whole visual of the deal, which is wonderful and really something I wish I had when I first started learning to play. We discuss the term window of opportunity that many of you heard and might not quite fully understand. This is a graph that if you're on our Facebook group, you've probably seen before. Miscalled tiles have many rules. It's a looking and listening game, and there are many different nuances of whether the miscalled tile is called for an exposure, for Mahjong. What happens if someone has Mahjong on the actual tile and the miscalled tile? We answer that here. Who gets the tile? This is what some people call the slamming rule. We discuss it's not a new rule. This rule has been in effect for a very long time. It is not next in line that gets the tile. However, many players have house rules or are unaware of this rule. So we go into detail. Here we do insert our opinion about how we believe that a player must first pick or call to start their turn and not expose. But that is clearly explained in this visual. Then we delve into strategy. We do strategy during the Charleston. We do strategy throughout the game. We clearly discuss house rules versus National Mahjong League rules. Many players don't realize that paying for the table when you throw to 3 exposures is a house rule. They think that's a National Mahjong League rule. So we have 4 pages just comparing National Mahjong League to house rules. We also do the same for tournament rules. We don't leave out Siamese 2-player Mahjong. We also talk about rules for 3-player. Here's our example of specific for 2023, the National Mahjong League frequently asked questions that came up. And then just a note for many of you who teach or run big drop-in groups, if you order from Amazon, it's perfectly well and fine, and we appreciate that. If you have a large group of like 8 or more books that you're interested in purchasing, shoot us an email and we can see if possibly we can get you a better price by sending it to you all at once. So we hope you enjoy our visual companion. We really have loved creating these visuals for our Facebook Mahjong group. The intent in the beginning was to create graphics that would help players of all levels. And we had such an overwhelming request for them to be all in one comprehensive place so they could have them at their game or at home while they're practicing. And we're happy that it's here. So we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening and for supporting us. And we hope to see you online. Check out on modernmahjong.com. We have listings of our upcoming events. We have a virtual tournament coming up in November. Before that, in October, we have a Zoom coming up. And our panel is going to be wonderful to talk about how Mahjong is more than a game. You'll hear from Greg Swain, Toby Salk, Teresa Benassi, Dr. Sarah Gundel, and Dana Carter-Lang, who many of you know that teaches all over, I believe, North Carolina. So this is going to be a very interesting panel of how Mahjong, yes, it's a game, but how the lessons from the game and how the meaning of the tiles and the stories, it really is more than a game to many people. So we hope you join us for that. You could register online for free. And if you need any information, email us at modernmahjong@gmail.com. Have a great day.